Looks like this person was crushed by the ceiling. What an awful end. Nice dress. I wonder when that style was last in fashion. Doesn't look like they're even worth examining for parts. An old shop vac. I haven't seen one in ages. This fridge still looks like it's doing okay. Not surprisingly, it's empty. I'm going to need something to open up the side if I want to scavenge for parts. This isn't in as good a condition as I thought. Only useful part in here is this fuse. I might as well hang on to it. Seems to be full of fishing equipment. Pretty small for an anchor. I bet it doesn't weigh too much. Desperate times call for desperate measures. It's shut tight. I won't be able to pry it open with my bare hands. Dead, although I might be able to take a look inside and get it working again. There, that wasn't so tough. These don't look too complex. It just looks like the main fuse is blown. I sure hope this works. Here goes nothing. Looks like that's my next destination. It's way too high for me to reach. I'm guessing this used to support the structure before it collapsed. Not a bad idea. Ooh, that was more of a climb than I anticipated. What is this place? It looks like a giant raven. Seeing that thing gliding around the sky would definitely be intimidating. Reminds me of the one in the rebel hideout. I wonder if there was once a raven in there. I guess this is the Reaper's base of operations. These look like security monitors. What are they doing here? Aha! Just what I thought. They're mechanical. Aha! Full of lots of unmarked bottles. I wonder what they're for. Anatomy, infectious diseases, biology, quite a collection. Weird. I wonder what these are for.
Ah, Amy Willard. You found me. I was hoping you would.
How did you...
I realize you probably have many questions. I can give you all the answers you need, but first, allow me to make myself more presentable.
So you are human.
Yes. I'm sorry to disappoint you if you were expecting more.
I don't know what I was expecting, to be honest. You told me you were a doctor.
Yes, Dr. Edwin Aquino, at your service. I was once the leader of the green lung vaccine development team, but after learning about their vaccine distribution, or lack thereof, that quickly changed.
Hang on, you knew about the vaccine hoarding? Why didn't you tell anyone?
That would have started violent riots. It's not fair to begin a civil war when it would end without a cure for the illness. I wanted to say something. It hurt not to, but the time wasn't right.
You didn't think the people deserved to know?
They do, and they will. But not while we only have a vaccine and not a cure. With a permanent cure, the aristocracy's hoarding becomes irrelevant, and the focus will be on eradicating the disease.
I guess that makes sense. Why the mechanical ravens? What do they do?
Rather clever little inventions, wouldn't you say? They have video transmitters in their eyes and audio transmitters in their beaks. I use them as scouts, since I can control them remotely.
Did you make them?
No, someone else did, a long time ago. In any case, they've served me quite well, at least the ones that haven't broken. I have very few left, which is going to be a problem at some point.
You've been following me with your birds. Why am I of such interest to you?
You did a lottery job for the Ministry of Energy.
That's right. What of it?
You've got the disease. You're fighting to survive. You're clever and resourceful. Exactly what I need.
Exactly what do you need?
After I left the Ministry of Medicine, I began my attempts at developing a permanent cure for green lung. It was a long process, which took over 10 years, but just last month, I had a breakthrough and was able to make this.
Is that?
Yes, this is the cure for green lung. I've been testing it and it seems to work, but I need to be certain. Aside from that, I don't have the information necessary to mass produce the cure, though I suspect Tiberius keeps it somewhere in the Ministry of Energy.
So what is it you need from me?
We're both fugitives, Amy. I can't put myself at risk by going to the places I need to. If I'm killed or captured, my research will have all been for nothing. You can clearly take care of yourself. I saw how you handled things at Rockwall Prison and Willowdale Plaza.
You helped me out both of those times.
I merely provided some assistance. Your survival was your own doing. Now I realize it's a bit much to ask, but your help would be incredibly valuable, not just to me, but to the future of humanity.
It's not really much to ask. I owe you my life, after all.
Thank you, Amy. I appreciate it. The main thing I need is to find out where Tiberius is keeping my research on mass production. At some point, I'll also need a subject to test the cure on, so I can be absolutely sure it works. Do you have any questions?
Why do you dress like that?
Intimidation, mainly. The work I do is not exactly looked upon favorably by the government, so I had to come up with a way to make sure I was left alone. The costume is just to make sure anyone who might happen to see me is scared off.
So you knew of the rumors about the Reaper and decided to become him yourself?
No, I'm the one who started them. Creating the image of death personified seemed a natural deterrent for anyone who might get too close. Thankfully, the rumors seem to have spread rather quickly over the years.
You aren't kidding. There's a whole cult dedicated to worshiping you.
Yes, I know of them. An extreme example, but I can't deny it helps my work.
About your subject, can I try the cure?
I'd like to, but it's far too risky. You are one of my greatest assets right now. If this proves to have any adverse side effects, I'll be without your help. Once I can mass produce this, I won't have to be so careful.
How can we find the mass production information?
Ideally, I could use my ravens to go in and locate it, but I only have 3 working ones left. And as you're well aware, Tiberius's tower is huge. It would take way too long for only 3 ravens to scan the entire place without being detected.
Could I take a look at one of them?
Of course.
Who did you say made these?
A friend in the Ministry of Knowledge, but that was ages ago. I know very little about their design.
It isn't too complex, actually. I can fix them for you, no problem.
You can?
Sure. See this bit here? That's the servo, the part that controls the wings. It's worn out, so I just need to replace it with a new one.
Are those common? Would we be able to find one or more in the city?
Well, I learned about them from working on toy airplanes that my friend had when we were kids. If we could find some, we'd be in business.
I wonder. Yes, excellent. As I suspected, there's a hobby shop which has remained mostly intact further in the city, and I can see that they have several model airplanes.
Great, I'll go get them and fix your Ravens in no time.
Yes, but the store is located in the quarantine zone.
So, I have nothing to worry about. I'm already infected.
You contracting green lung isn't my concern. It's how you're going to get back out. The quarantine zone is designed to keep people from escaping.
If I can find a way in, I'll just have to find a way out, won't I?
Fine. While you're there, see if you can bring someone back with you. Someone who has been quarantined will make an ideal subject to test the cure on.
I'll see what I can do.
Good. Take this then.
What is it?
A two-way communicator. They used to call them walkie-talkies. We can use them to stay connected while you're in there.
Can you tell me anything about Tiberius?
Quite a bit. I've known him for a very long time. Since before the bombs, in fact. Was there anything specific you wanted to know?
What was Tiberius like before the bombs?
He was the director of the Ministry of Energy. Of course, back then he wasn't calling himself Tiberius. He was just Julian. After society collapsed, he took the initiative to reform and establish the aristocracy. His love for history led him to adopt the alias of Tiberius, as well as insisting the other aristocrats take the name of ancient Roman emperors.
Why does he wear that awful mask?
Anonymity. He felt government leaders are more respected as an institution rather than as people. I can't deny that this approach works extremely well.
Was he always so evil?
I wouldn't call him that. Manipulative, yes. Ruthless, undoubtedly. But not evil. He suffered immense trauma on the day the bombs fell.
Everyone did. Not all of us had the wealth to recover so easily.
Tiberius lost both his wife and unborn child that day. Wealth or not, that hits a man hard. It left him quite mentally unstable, to be honest. His determination to rebuild society was rooted in trying to cope with his loss. In a way, I felt pity for him. Perhaps too much.
What do you mean by that?
Nothing. Never mind.
Strange for him to have a soothsayer for an assistant. How is he qualified?
Superstition is a very powerful force. I'm living proof of that. I never had many dealings with the soothsayer, but I believe he came from somewhere outside the city. Tiberius finds comfort in being able to have a channel to the supposed other side. While I don't share his beliefs, I can't particularly fault him for having them.
That's all for now.
Fair enough.
I'll just get to it then.
Good luck, Amy. By the way, that doorway back there will allow you to get up and down the tower much easier than climbing. Please don't touch that.
Quarantine zone. For a lot of people, this is one of the last signs they ever get to read. That doesn't look like it's a very pleasant job. Excuse me.
Huh? What do you want?
What is it you're doing out here?
Transporting people into the quarantine zone. What does it look like?
Aren't you worried about getting infected?
Well, considering this is a lottery job, not really.
I need to get inside the quarantine zone.
Huh. You know, I think that's the first time I've ever heard anyone say that.